this morning in worship we talked about our outreach and sharing our faith and how sometimes we procrastinate about that. And for those of you that typically get to see this later on Facebook, I deleted it, so I messed it up maybe next week. For those of you that got to follow along, it was suggested that maybe since the afternoon session is usually kind of coupled in with the morning session, that we put it on Facebook as well. So here are the things that we want to share this afternoon. One of the things that makes us procrastinate perhaps is that we don't see immediate results. We plant seed, but we can't immediately see the outcome of what we're doing, and so we get discouraged in well-doing, and so we stop doing because, what am I accomplishing anyway? Found a couple of kind of neat stories about efforts that people made that took several years for the seed to take root, and it did so in kind of odd ways. How many of you at some point in your life have been involved with World Bible School? Sending out or grading World Bible School? They have an online way of doing that now. It is actually World Bible School, spelled out all one line, all lowercase, .net. And you can sign up to teach if you are a member of the Church of Christ. As they put it, in good standing. In other words, if you're worshiping regularly, if you're part of the congregation, you can help them in doing online studies with people all over the world. So if that's something that's interesting to you, you might take advantage of that. They still have the mail-out lessons. If you're interested in that, they can get you hooked up with those. But there was a woman in Arkansas who was involved in the World Bible School. This was back when it was done all through mailing. And she had mailed out a lesson to an individual in Africa. And evidently, that individual lost the lesson, or it got lost in mailing. But anyway, it was actually laying in the street. And somebody came by and saw it laying in the street, picked it up, began studying it, found the local Church of Christ, and was baptized 2 days later. They said the interesting thing about it was that it was mailed 7 years before they found it laying in the street. Can God use the seed that we sow even if we don't ever know how things work out? There's another story that was very similar to that. That is that somebody was giving out tracts, and we don't know the background of this one, but they were giving out tracts, and they gave a tract to somebody who evidently either didn't want it or, we'll hope, read it and then threw it away. And so it was put in the trash can and set out by the road for the trash man to pick up. It was in such a place that the trash man could see it, whether it was laying on top or fell out of the trash can, don't know. But he saw the tract, picked it up, read the tract, found the local Church of Christ, and was converted. Sometimes people hear the message and we don't even know who they are. One of my greatest hopes is that when I give away books on Amazon and Kindle, is that somebody I'll never meet will read one of those books, learn enough about Scripture to obey the gospel, and we'll never meet this side of heaven, but somebody will take the seed that's been sown and let it get into their heart, and God will bring about the increase. So if we're waiting on something big, if we're waiting on the perfect time, it may never come. But if we sow seed every day, if we put it out there, give the opportunity for other people to find what we're sharing with them, you never know what God can do with the hearts and the minds and the souls of the people around us. So hope that encourages you to get busy about sharing your faith. If you need to respond, we want to help you if we can as we sing.
In moments like these,
I sing out a song, I sing